Hello, welcome to the James Cooley Show. It's your life, and I'm your host, Dr. James Cooley. Guess what? We got this absolutely fantastic guest that's been on. I think this is her third or fourth time. I think this is her fourth time. But every time she comes on, she seemed to kind of like bust the view record because everybody locked in on her. She's that wonderful. And she always come with brand new knowledge to most people because they don't listen to anything else everybody else say. Uh, but she always bring knowledge to help us out in life and help us understand certain things and just all about God's path and some of the things and purpose that He has us on. So I cannot wait. I cannot wait to get her on the show. But before I do anything, you all know that I can't do anything without my executive producing and co-host that always put together great guests like we have today and great shows. How you doing, Dr. Michelle Denise Cooley? How you doing today?
I'm doing good, doing good. Excited about guests today. Yeah, she is a frequent guest on our show. She's always has new information, new educational things to think about, and she's just a really bright light on our show as a guest. So we're excited to have her and fortunate to have her again today.
Yeah, always. And Stacy, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to steal your thunder, baby. I know you getting ready to introduce her shortly, but Stacy is, I tell you, is just incredible woman of God, just incredible person, incredible mother, and just you guys just sit back and listen to it. And if you want to be part of the conversation, all you have to do is just go to the comments. Wherever you're watching it, whether you're watching on E360 TV, whether you're watching on YouTube, LinkedIn, StreamYard, Twitter, wherever you're watching it at, on over 25 other live streaming networks, say hello to this young lady, ask her any questions. I promise you, I'll get your questions and we'll get you an answer. Michelle, I can't take it no more. Can you please introduce this absolutely fantastic guest to our viewers and our listeners?
Yes. Stacy Bullock. The title of the show is called How to Perfect the Process of Life. And we're getting to know veteran, best-selling author, transformational speaker, and CEO Stacy Bullock. And we're going to really kind of discuss what the process actually really means and how to perfect it, and also the keys to be successful in the process. So let's talk a little bit about Stacy. Stacy is the founder of Power and Resilience Coaching Agency. She's the president and CEO of Order Steps Incorporated, a nonprofit serving homeless women and formerly incarcerated women veterans, a best-selling author, transformational speaker, certified John Maxwell leadership coach, a civil servant, and an ordained evangelist. Stacy's an Army veteran, having served a little under 18 years, which she advanced to the rank of Staff Sergeant. She is compassionate. She is a very compassionate individual whose mission is to help others reach their full potential through their power of resilience. That's the key word, is resilience. That's the reason she began coaching men and women ages 35 to 45. So, we have a new topic today from Stacy, again, how to perfect the process of life. And Stacy Bullock, we are welcoming you back to It's Your Life with Dr. James Cooley.
Stacy, how are you doing? How are you? You thought you were gonna stay away? Oh, we need you. We did need that inspiration that you bring, and we need to see that beautiful smile that you always have. How you doing today?
I am doing wonderful. I'm so excited to be here. I might be a little overwhelmed today just for the simple fact of having the opportunity to share and be a contribution to this earth is phenomenal for me.
Wow, and you know what? You put it in the phrase contribution to the earth. Most people don't even want to be a contribution to their community, to their family, to nothing. You know, you mentioned the word earth, meaning everything that's encompassed the earth. So and that's very, very powerful. So Stacy, can you please tell our viewers and our listeners, just in case they missed anything about the intro, they missed the last three times you was on, can you kind of bring them up to up the stuff of who you are and whose you are.
Well, we'll start with whose I am. I am a child of the Most High God. And I believe that what I'm doing right now is exactly the reason I was allowed to be here. There were some moments in my life where I actually wanted to leave, but God said no. And so now here I am, I'm not going to say fully evolved because I'm still here. I'm still alive and I'm still growing. I'm still developing. But I believe that it is my life's mission to make sure to help others get to their life's mission, to help them understand the process, to help them go through the process, to help them realize and recognize who they are, because that's the transformation process that I went through. And all the things that happened to me, every single thing worked together for my good. I promise you, it worked out for my good. Even the things that happen now that I may not appreciate, I still understand that it's going to work itself out for my good. But you know what? I have to remain focused as to why I'm here. Why are you on this earth? What is your purpose? And how do we get through it?
Wow. I almost, I mean, if that was preaching right there. I mean, and I love it. I love it. So Stacey, what inspires you to motivate others and to try to help bring out their full potential that they might not be seeing at the time?
The thing that inspires me the most is to watch somebody's life change right before your eyes. When we begin to work with them and uh, nurture them, love on them. When I go into the jail, I tell them all the time, I say, I'm just going to love the hell right out of you. And so, people look at me funny when I say that, but I mean it. I sincerely mean it because it's love that motivates me, that keeps me going. And, just to know that I am loved, to know that I am love, and to be able to demonstrate it to other people, that's my motivation. That is my motivation.
Wow. I'm going to steal that saying. I'm just going to have to love the hell out you, you know,
Yes.
and try to squeeze it. Get out, get out. So Stacey, what keeps you inspired in life? I'm telling you, you're doing so many things, and every time I see you, every time it's just all happiness, and it doesn't seem like there is a sad moment at all. What inspires you in life just to keep going, keep doing the things that you're doing, always seeing the good in others and trying to bring out the good in others?
And that is it. That's exactly what you said. I'm telling you, when I mean transformation, God took me and literally turned Stacy upside down. When I was upside down, can you imagine, like, if you had coins in your pocket and somebody is shaking you upside down and those coins are falling out your pocket because you've been holding on to them for way too long. Women know when we could get a lot of coins in our purse, that purse gets heavy, and it gets too heavy to carry sometimes. So I had to be dumped upside down and allow things to fall off that were just too heavy. So since I understand that, I also understand, as now they say, I understand the assignment. Those things that I went through are now my catalyst. And I'll tell you a little bit more about catalysts later. But these things now, I chuckle at them. When somebody does something that, could have potentially set me off on another course, I laugh now. I use laughter as my medicine. Yes.
I'm loving it. I'm loving it. So Stacey, I want to get off into the title of the show, How to Perfect the Process of Life. And we got about 2 minutes before the break, but we're going to start right now. Can you tell our viewers and our listeners why you chose that topic, and what's your purpose and sharing that with them?
Of course, of course. See, a lot of people might look at this word and say, perfect. How are we going to be perfect? No, that's not what I meant. We have to perfect. We have to bring into final form the things that we encounter in life. When somebody say you want your master's degree. Well, there's a process to get your master's degree. The final form is the master's degree, but what do I need to do to get to that end goal? Do I need to take a test? I need to choose a school. So there are processes that we have to go through there. And then when we're even in the process of achieving things, there are things that are going to come on the journey that we're going to have to maneuver through, like divorce, like sickness, like losing a job. We're going to have to learn how to maneuver through those things. And you can't do it unless you have the mindset that I am going to perfect this, which means that you're going to bring it into final form. You're going to bring that thing home. You're going to manifest it. You're going to make it happen. It's going to show up in the earth.
Wow, hold that thought, because I don't even want to go into understanding the process without taking this commercial break, because then I had to cut you off later. Don't want to do that. Tell you what, you're listening to this absolutely fantastic young lady. If you want to be part of this conversation, all you have to do is just go to the comments on whichever platform you're watching or listening on. Ask her any questions that you like. I promise you, I will get you an answer. It's your life. I'm Dr. James J.C. Cooley. We'll see you shortly after the break.
I never wanna leave. Yeah, I'm right where I wanna be. We got something you and me, and I can't get rid of this feeling. Just like a magnet, we're just like a magnet. The things we have can't be taken for granted. Now I know that it has always been you. I can't help it, I'm so drawn to you. Just like a magnet, we're just like a magnet. The things we have can't be taken for granted. Now I know that it has always been you. I can't help it, I'm so drawn to you. Hey, I'm so drawn to you. I'm so drawn to you. Yeah, yeah.
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life, and I am so excited with Stacy. And you know what? We're talking about how to perfect the process of life. uh, perfect the process of life. Perfect.
Mhm.
Uh, a lot of people, just like I said, Stacy, they think they already got this down pat. Especially our young folks out there. What you gonna do? I'm gonna own my own business. I'm gonna own my. I already got it. Where's that? I just right here. You know, they already got it perfected in their mind, and they don't have a process
Mm.
that we do in life. It's got to be a process.
It
And our viewers
must
out there, you want to be
be.
part of this and learn a little bit more about the process. You want to join in on the process. All you have to do is just go to the platform that you're looking at this at and just ask a great lady any question you like. But that being said, Stacey, what does perfect mean when it comes to the process? I know you started that a little bit, but can you pick it up and let's just take it on in there and educate some folks.
Absolutely. So when we are in the process of perfecting, meaning to bring something to a final form, not a final end, a final form. I need us to understand wholly that this means for us to press towards a condition, a state of mind, a quality of always being free. I have this statement that I say, and I put it in my emails and things like that. And I say, always be awesome. Means that I'm always looking to do to be awesome in every situation, whether it's good or bad. We have to make sure that, okay, you know what? This I don't like. I don't like the way it feels. I don't like the way it sounds. I don't like the way I'm going with it. But this is going to help me. Listen closely now. Listen closely. This is going to help me improve my well being. That's what it means to be perfecting the process, to be improving at all times, at all costs. I'm improving. I'm developing. We're growing. We have to identify the opportunity. Some people might think it's an obstacle. I call them opportunities, an opportunity to develop, an opportunity to grow, an opportunity to expand, to an opportunity to examine and my challenges. I had this program I wrote called SOAR. It means self-observation activates resilience. But if we don't know who we are, and then we have to learn who we are. We have to observe our behaviors. We have to examine ourselves. What do I do when certain things happen in life? Which direction do I go in? Do I go in a positive direction, or do I go in a negative direction, or do I go in no direction at all? Do I just sit and become numb? But we have to make sure that we are examining our identifying our opportunities. We are examining the challenge. We are implementing improvements, coming up with different ways to do things, coming up with different ways to approach life. We can't always approach it from a negative standpoint. There's got to be something positive about it. You woke up this morning. It's plain and simple. We can stop right there. I woke up.
Mm-hmm. Stacey, let me say something. Do you believe that the word perfect can appear to be overwhelming to some regarding the process? And they're like, okay, I ain't gonna do that. I'm just gonna skip. I'm going from 1, 2, all the way to 10. And without knowing what's in between the middle. And if you ever stuck with trying to figure something out, if you don't know all the steps in the process, it could be devastating. Can we talk about that a little bit?
Yes. And the first thing that just came to my mind when you said that was when I was in statistics. I had to take a statistics class to get my degree in psychology. I didn't want to do clinical psychology. I wanted to understand humanity and why we do the things that we do. But they put me in the statistics class. And in that class, if you miss one step in the process of formulating the problem, of getting an answer to the problem. You mentioned a second ago that you may have a problem along the way. If we start at step 1 and we skip over to step 10, that's not how life works. We must go from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way up to the end result. Even if the end result is 100, we still have to keep going. We must be resilient in everything that we do. We quickly bounce back from life's curveballs because it's going to throw its curveballs, and we have to be accepting and expecting of that. But when we are, guess what? That word perfect doesn't scare me. Shouldn't scare you, because that when we get afraid of something, that's called fear. We don't have fear. Only fear and reverence of God. That's it.
Wow. Accepting imperfecting. Wow. You know I'm stealing all your stuff today, and I got to record it. So, you mentioned something about, and I teach this all the time. Remember that show used to come on called Name That Tune?
Mm-hmm.
Name That Tune. And they gave you 10 beats. They give you 10 beats and name that tune, and whoever named it first, and like Michael Jackson, so, and then and so what happens is you have a guy or a girl that's consistently name that tune and take them 4 or 5 beats, right? You have somebody that start off doing it and take them 1 or 2. The next time take them 3, 4. Next time, and this over life. Next time it taking them 5. And so one that had been named taking 5, now she's on 5 and they on 5. Come time to hire somebody. They've been in company, both of them been in company 15 years. Since you do not understand the process, who you think that they're going to hire? The person that they named that tune 1, 2, 3, 4? Or the person that constant 5? They're going to hire a constant 5 because they're going to start thinking the other person, since they didn't know the process, got diminishing skills. You see? It's okay to be sharp and get out there, but if you don't know the process, you don't know the process, and you get stuck in life, and sometimes you need, in order to go from 5 to 6 and 7, you need to have understood that. But that's how it is in life. And are there any challenges involved in the process when it comes to perfect?
Of course. And that's why we have to make sure that we see our challenges as opportunities to grow. Because when we see it different, when we don't look at it as a problem, when we don't look at it as something that is going to cause me to fail, and even if we don't succeed the first time around, that just means that, okay, what step did I miss? As we're talking about steps in the process, what step did I miss? What didn't I get the first go round? So we have to change our mindset to not always think that it's a problem or it's a challenge or it's a negative or this is something that is going to bring me down and not help me. Stop playing the victim all the time. Let's look at life different and say, this came to me for a reason. The reason it came to me because it already knows that I can handle it. We already know that God has already given us the ability to get it done. And this is where our mindset has to be. Our mind has to be renewed day by day. Even though, as you talked about the diminishing skills, yet some things might diminish, like in the flesh. But we have to make sure that we stay and as I said in the beginning, we stay in that condition, that state of mind that I can get anything done that comes my way. I'm not going to succumb to it. It's not going to destroy me. I wrote a poem a couple weeks ago, and it's titled, You Thought You Were Gonna Break Me. No, sir.
Hey, you want to talk about that? We want to say a little bit about that poem? Are you scared? Are you scared?
No, not at all. Not at all. So so when I wrote it, I was just driving down the street, and it was as if this bombshell dropped in my lap after I thought about some things that had happened to me in my life. And I thought, and I laughed. I said, you thought you were going to break me. And that turned into words of encouragement and words of wisdom to say, oh, you thought that financial calamity was going to break me. You thought divorce was going to break me. You thought abruptly ending my military career was going to break me. No, what it did was strengthen me. What it did was make me press in. What it did was make me come to the conclusion that I needed to learn the process on how to perfect my life. It said to Stacy, who are you? What are you made of? Are you just going to cower down? No, in the beginning, I said, I'm a child of the Most High God. And if I know that and I still cower back, something needs to be regenerated and renewed. I've been praying that God will ignite our spring again. That the spring that was in us from Genesis, before we were even formed, that spring was in the ground. That ability to get up, that ability to bounce back, that ability to leap was already there. So I'm asking for it to be ignited in everybody who is under the sound of my voice right now. That we will never cower back to who we are, to who we've been created to be. If you're a baker, bake yourself into riches. I said and in that poem at the end, I said, we are ambassador of riches. So you can't break me because I'm not glass, baby. I'm a diamond.
I'm loving this. I am loving this. We're going to take a station break. But when I get back, we got a couple of people that's going to ask you some questions. We got the bishop in here going to ask you a question. We got Dr. Clement is going to ask you a question. Maybe Pastor Gina. Well, you're going to get some questions. Just put it like that.
All right. Okay.
I'm up here having fun. And that's what it's all about, having fun. And if you want to be part of this great conversation, and if you want to understand the process or be part of the process, wherever you're watching this at, just ask any question you like, and I promise you I'll get you an answer. It's your life. I'm Dr. James J.C. Cooley. We'll be back shortly after the break.
Really get a chance to know who you are. And once you know who you are, you truly know who you are, love who you are. Love who you are. You're a masterpiece. Love who you are. Love who you were born to be. Love me some me. That's what I'm talking about. When you leave high school, you gotta know today or tomorrow, or hopefully today, what your plans are. Hopefully, there is no bad decision unless there is no plan. Create, collaborate, commit with confidence. Commit with what? Commit with what? In everything that you do.
Noah Dingley here, producer of The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life. And the new audio version of James' book, Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet, is a must-have. James shares his true life story of struggle and success in America. It's both a cautionary tale and a roadmap to achieving the American dream. Get the new audio version of Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet by James Cooley on Amazon.com or wherever audiobooks are sold.
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life, and I'm tickled pink over here because it's so much fun, and I tell you, every time that I get an opportunity to chat and talk with Stacy, especially her, it's just so motivating. You can just feel it in the air. You can feel it, and Stacy is in Long Beach, California, and I'm in Texas right now, but it's the energy is like she's right here at this moment. So and I tell you what, if you want to be here at this moment, join in, ask a question. We'll make sure we get you an answer. So Stacy, I told you when we got back, we had some people that's going to ask you some questions, and we're gonna start off with the bishop, the pastor, all these things and everything else that might be there. And hey, Bishop, you got something you want to ask this great guest?
Yeah, I do. But first, Stacey, I want to say it's a pleasure meeting you, and everything you're saying is just it's building me up, and I'm ready to run now. I thought I was ready to run when I rung the doorbell to come in the studio, but I'm ready to run now. And
Amen.
I've had the experience of going through a lot of processes in my life, but I want to ask you a question and explain in the process we have to have and keep a positive, victorious perspective.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to ask and share with the audience where to draw that from and draw that strength from and how to use that strength.
All right. We're talking about curveballs. It's okay, because I always tell people God is always speaking if you're listening. So
Yeah.
in order for us, say that last part one more time, because I want to make sure I answer the question.
Well, it's two part. Mm-hmm. Where to draw our strength from, mm-hmm. and how to take that strength and use it to keep that perspective to get us through the challenges in the process.
Okay. So when we are committed, and Dr. Cooley, I love that he uses that word. When I heard it in one of his commercial breaks, I said, wow, I am really connected to the right person, because we must make a commitment first to God. That alone will solve all their problems.
Yeah.
Not that you won't have any, but it will definitely give you some ingenuity in solving them. So I personally draw my strength during times of prayer and meditation and focus and being committed to who I am, staying in my lane. That right there will give you strength. Don't try to go and carry somebody else's dumbbells, because when I was stationed in Egypt one time, let me tell you, this guy we weighed about 145 pounds. Another guy weighs about 240. And this 240 guy, he says, I'm going to go and lift 400 pounds. And the little guy, he said, I'm going to help you. So he's struggling with one little 45-pound weight. He's trying to get it on the bar. And the guy that's weighing 240, ready to lift the 400 pounds, is sitting there looking at him like, why are you trying to do this? I'm the one that has the strength to lift the 45 pounds. The 400 pounds. You still at 45. Stay at your 45 until you build to get more. That when you gain confidence, as you slowly take steps every day, take a step every day. Applaud yourself for the small steps that you take.
Yeah.
Tell yourself, if you got to literally pat yourself on the back, put your fist in the air and say, I'm magnificent. Do it, because it will build you on the inside. I talked a couple of weeks ago to some people, actually here, knowing your worth. But people get self-esteem sometimes confused with their worth, because they see their outside stuff that they have and forget that those things go away. So your esteem can get low when you start to look with your eyesight. But when you look with your insight, you begin to see a whole different picture. You begin to see, I am the apple of God's eye. I am great. I do have the ability. I have the desire. I have the will to do. And you can't stop me. Because I'm going to
That's
keep
right.
laughing. I'm going to keep the joy. I'm going to keep moving forward because guess what? It says that the joy of the Lord is my strength. So if you want strength, please God. Period.
And I totally 100% agree with you. You want strength, you got to stay in faith. You got to please God. We got Dr. Clement Johnson on, and he got a question for you as well. How you doing, Doc?
I am doing
Dr. Clement.
fantastic. And can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Outstanding.
Yes.
I am doing fantastic, and I definitely appreciate the conversation. It kind of falls into my 5-year plan process that I use, and I'm following exactly what you're saying. If the plan ain't working, change the plan to something that does work. But I'm listening to your conversation about your work with prisoners, and I'm looking at your conversation about the jail system and the work that you're doing there. Since I'm a technology guy, my question is more technical. On once you're given your training, do you have a measure of effectiveness on how effective your training is with inside the prison system over time? And then a caveat to that, the measure of success for those prisoners that are released that are able to apply that, and maybe you're able to codify your program's success.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So the measure is the goal. So we set goals. We learn how to set goals with people who haven't set positive goals. You know, they might just wake up in the morning and feel like, oh, I need money. So I got to figure out how to get it. And sometimes they go about the wrong way of getting it. But if now we take this individual and we teach them and educate them on how to live a successful life and go through the processes of life, even when life kick you in your teeth, we still have to find a way to remain focused. And so the measure is we set the goal. Let's say we set the goal to visit our children again. And because a lot of people get their children taken away, the women that I deal with have had their children removed. And so the goal is that you need to focus on making sure your life demonstrates a path that you can be trusted to have your children back in your life again. So what do we need to do? And then on that visit, man, you talking about just throwing up confetti and flowers and, you know, everything else that, you know, even the room might even smell good, the aroma of it, just because the person gets to feel like I am good enough and I met my goal. We took the steps and we met the goal. We actually sit down and write out a goal. So that's the first part of the process. The next part is getting to the end point. And when we get to that end point, we say, wow, now we can measure some success. And then we move on from there. I'm sorry, I'm laughing because that just popped up my son. Don't make me cry. So we just have to make sure, well, when you see that end goal, and that's where we get our strength from too. We talked about strength a few seconds ago. We gain strength and confidence when we are able to reach our goals. And it may be something as simple as I got up this morning and I didn't want to stay in the bed. I got up and made my bed. Some people don't do that. They don't have the energy to do that. I hope that answers this question.
Wow, you know you answered every question. Hey, we got Pastor Gina here that got a question for you. Probably got about 3 minutes before we take the break, 3.5 minutes. So, Pastor Gina.
I am really enjoying your conversation. This has been so wonderful and encouraging to us all, you know. But I wanted to ask about the process. I know that everybody's process is different. But, you know, you were talking a little bit about the end process. How do we keep that focus to the end? How do we get there in our mindset?
You believe, you trust that. I say it a lot. You trust that you are good enough. You trust that you are worthy to, and you are deserving of your end goal. You are. Oh my gosh, how can I say? You're capable of doing it. This is how we have to keep our focus, because we believe it. This is not rocket scientists. We believe that we are capable. We believe that we are worthy. We believe that we're not just here as a dirt house. We are here as I said earlier, as an ambassador of riches. We are here because our soul, our soil is so rich that things have the ability to grow from it. So if we know that things, not just things, I'm not saying flowers are going to start sprouting out of your skin. No, but businesses will start to sprout out of your skin. Books will start to sprout out of your skin. Companies will start to sprout, will spring up out of you. I mean, you'll start looking around, and all of a sudden, I can say for myself, I moved to California on God's word. Literally, an article was written the next day I woke up after he said I was moving. The next devotional says, the title was, "We're Moving." I said, you got my attention. And when it was said, when it was spoken, guess what? That meant it was going to happen. But that also meant that Stacy had to pick up the phone, call the movers. I had to talk to my job, who was so gracious and said, well, where you want to go? Anywhere you want to go, just let us know, write the memo. We'll see if we got enough money to pay you out there. And it happened to be California. And so the process, you know, when you work with the process, and this is another way, how you stay motivated, how you stay focused. I tell people all the time, there's these little nuances in life that will show up. Like you were going to be late, but all of a sudden you got all green lights. That's a little nuance to make you want to fight a little bit more, to say, you know what? That was on my side today. That happened just for me. Something happened to me last week. I said, God implemented and made a law in the federal government just to affect me, just to give me a blessing. So that's how we got to start thinking. That mindset is the first thing. And in Ordered Steps Incorporated, that is the first thing that we do. The first 90 days, we have to go through some mind renewal and transformation.
Renewing of the mind. You know, we got to take a station break, but we're going to come back and we're going to pick this up from here, because my thought process, my mental capacity, everything is being renewed as you continue to teach. If you want to be part of this conversation, and Sage, hey, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Sage. If you want to be part of this conversation, all you have to do is just go to the comments, ask any question you like. I promise you, I get it on the screen. It's Your Life. I'm Dr. James J.C. Cooley. We'll be back shortly after the break.
Fight again. And if you want my opinion, I'll let it take me away. Only relief is the 4 on the floor and the crowd that goes, turn it up, 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 turn it up.
Hello. Hey, I'm James Cooley. I am the founder and CEO of the J.C. Cooley Foundation, Options, Opportunities, / Choice Program. Our primary mission is to help build a foundation of our youth and young adults and communities. And we encourage everyone to dream big, think big, and be big at everything you do. And the way that you do that is, first of all, you got to believe in yourself. You have to believe in yourself. You have to know that you are here for a purpose. You also have to be able to step out your comfort zone and do things that you probably didn't think that you can do. Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. I'm messing my own self up. Welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life. And Stacy, another home run already. That means I'm just telling you right now, I'm gonna have to stay. I'm gonna have to come up around 4 or 5, sooner or later. I mean, our viewers and our listeners. Bishop, do you think they need this? Need this information? I mean, I'm talking about. Do you think they need this inspiration from Stacy?
Yes, definitely. Just a short time, Stacy, that we've sat here and listened to you and interacted, it's life changing. And that's what we need. And like you expressed, it all changes with our thought process. And that's what's going to transform us. It's not our walk and our legs or our elbows. It all starts in the mind. And one thing I wanted to interject and also encourage, where you were talking about we have to talk to ourselves and things. I want to back it up and say it works. To whoever listening, it works. I call it mirror ministry. Sometimes we got to get in the mirror, look past the blemishes, look past all that, and start talking to yourself and tell yourself that you are great, that you are one. Don't get me started, Jay.
No, go ahead, old man. Just don't pass the basket around.
I'm gonna interject on that. We're gonna tag team a little bit right here because I know this guy named David. He said that he had to encourage himself.
All right.
He didn't. I said this guy David, who was a king, matter of fact, said that he had to encourage himself in the Lord. So we have to wake up and say, okay, come on, Stacy, let's get it.
Yeah.
Let's go. If you literally have to physically touch yourself and say, let's go, let's get up. I talked about it earlier. I said, we got this spring in us, y'all. There's a spring in us that was built in. That spring will make you get up. That spring will make you elevate. That spring will cause you to come to life. That spring causes you to become the living soul that you are supposed to be here on this earth. And if we're living and the soul, our intellect, our will, and our emotions and our passions, those things must be demonstrated. And we're gonna stop because we're gonna bring
whatever you're doing, these numbers of viewers are off the chain. So keep talking, keep inspiring, tell everybody they need to, refocus.
Yes, refocus. You know what? But the main thing to all of this is to tell yourself the truth. I had to come to the realization there was a point in my life I said, Stacy, you mean. And you need to make the adjustments to not be mean. And now it was tested. We have to be tested too. To how you gonna know what you got if you're not tested? So I'm walking across this parking lot and I got this cute little purse, and this lady is sitting in her truck and she literally pulls up to me and says, "Hey, where'd you get that purse?" And I immediately reflected on my change, because at one point in my life, I was not approachable. I was so excited that that lady felt safe enough, comfortable enough to drive over to me and just ask me a question. They don't even know how much that affected my heart and my life and gave me more confidence to continue to perfect being approachable. How can I tell anybody or encourage anybody if nobody wants to come near me? We have to get past ourselves, first of all. It's like, you're not that important, Stacy. So, but you are that important. But let's learn how to perfect it so it doesn't come off as arrogance and cockiness or conceitedness. Let's be confident I believe I read somewhere where it talks about a quiet confidence. That is a strong place to be. You can walk in the room, you haven't said a word, and everybody says that sees you says, "That's a confident individual," but you haven't said anything.
Right. Wow. That's like the 4 C's I always talk about: create, collaborate, commit with confidence. As long as you're confident in yourself and to really truly believe in yourself, people that are around you, not saying you're trying to impress anybody or show out in front of anybody, it's just gonna stand out, and that's what confidence is all about. Stacy, you really putting this down. I got to tell people about your books because they need to get them. They need to get your books. They need to read them, and they need some confidence. Yeah. But after they read your books, they're gonna be walking around, head up, just chest stuck out. I tell our viewers a little bit about your books. We got about 2.5 minutes on the show. Can you talk about that a little bit and tell people what they can get?
Absolutely. I'm gonna give you a little testimony that this happened yesterday because of my first book that was written in 2006. My massage therapist that comes to the house at the courtesy of the Veterans Affairs. I'm gonna give them a shout out because they're taking care of their people.
I was just telling them about that as well.
and I gave her my first book on her first visit here, and she came back yesterday and she said, "Miss Stacy, your book is changing my life." She's reading Beaten Oil, which I'm going to edit and republish very soon. But she's reading it, and that book talks about your life is supposed to produce a light because light gives life to men. But if your light ain't right and your oil ain't right, you're not producing much life. So that's the first book. The second one is Don't Let Your Brain Go Numb. I'm actually teaching from that on my Monday night classes called Tools for Everyday Living. That book talks about when we go numb to life. When you carry a baby too long or package too long and your arm get numb and you put it down and you got to go through all these gyrations to get the circulation back, that's what happens in life. Sometimes we take on too much and it gets too heavy and you go numb. But we need to have that circulation rejuvenated, that new breath of life breathed into us again, and we can move forward in our purpose. The last one is recognizing the stranger in the mirror. That was me, 2015. I didn't know who I was. Actually, 2002, when I got out the military abruptly. So here I am ending 18-year career over. Now I got to start over again. I have to know who I am. I have to recognize the abilities that I have and be confident in every single one of them.
Wow. Tell our viewers and our listeners where they can get these books from.
You can go on Amazon.com and get all of them.
Hey, Stacy, it's always a pleasure. It's always a pleasure having you on the show. you see why I get so excited when I call and I start begging. But please, don't forget to hit that like button. Oh yeah, hey, tell them, tell everybody hit the like button. Love it. You know, and hey, Stacey, I want to thank you so much for taking time to come on the show. Got to have you back again in about 3 weeks. If you got time.
We make time for you.
I'm loving this. I'm loving this. I'd like to thank my great executive producer, Dr. Michelle Denise Cooley, for always putting together a great show, a great lineup. I'd like to thank my guest host. We got the bishop here, Gary. We got his wife, the pastor, Gina. We got Clem, Dr. Clem, which he already done kicked off. Most importantly, I'd like to thank our viewers and listeners for taking time to tune in to the James Cooley Show. It's your life. We'll be back tomorrow. Same time, same place. It's your life. We'll see you then.